Today we're using AI-assisted research to dive into.
Every January 1st, we all get the exact same gift, right? 365 brand new days. But have you ever stopped to think, what is that gift actually worth? Well, today we're going to dive into a story that tries to put a price tag on our most valuable and honestly, our most misunderstood resource, our time.
I love this quote because it just perfectly nails the whole paradox of time, doesn't it? It's totally free, but at the same time, it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can definitely use it. You can't keep it, but oh boy, you can spend it. And really, our entire lives are pretty much defined by how we choose to spend it.
Okay, so let's make this a little more personal. I want you to think about this for a second. If you had to put an actual price tag on your next 365 days, what would it be? Seriously, it's not a trick question or anything. In fact, it's kind of the foundation for everything we're about to get into. The whole point of this explainer today is, well, it's simple, but it's also pretty profound. We're going to challenge the way you see every single day, every hour, every minute. We've got this short story that's going to help us uncover why time is a currency that's way, way more valuable than any money you could ever have in the bank. So let's jump right in. All right, so our story kicks off with a father who has what seems like a simple problem, but as you'll see, it holds a much, much deeper meaning about the nature of time itself. So picture this. There's this old man in a small village, and he's just watching his son with a really heavy heart. Why? Because the young guy is just drifting. He's wasting his days, totally aimless, completely unaware of the precious time he's just throwing away. Now, the father knew that just lecturing him wasn't going to do any good. So he came up with a plan to teach a lesson that his son would never, ever forget. And this is where it gets interesting. The father's lesson, it doesn't start with a lecture. Nope. It starts with a quest, and this quest is centered on a simple, everyday object. So the father calls his son over, and he hands him this old clock. He says, "Take this to the market." Pretty simple, right? But then he adds, "Your only job today is to go around and ask every single person you meet what they'd be willing to pay for this clock." Now, it's a bit of a strange request, for sure, but the son just kind of shrugs and agrees to do it. And so, the son does exactly what he was told. He goes to the market, and the offers for this old clock, they were all over the place. One person offered 500 rupees, another said 1,000, someone else said 800. He goes back and tells his father, who just listens and nods. That's it. Part one of the lesson, done. Okay, but it's on day 2 that the real lesson begins. This is where the father is about to flip the script, moving from something physical to something, well, a lot more philosophical. The very next morning, the father gives his son a brand new quest. He says, "I want you to take the clock back to the market, but this time, don't ask for the price of the clock itself. I want you to ask for the price of the time that's ticking away inside of it." You can imagine the son is completely bewildered, but he goes back to the market anyway. And this time, oh, the reaction was harsh. People literally laughed in his face. Some of them told him he was crazy. Others just shooed him away like he was a nuisance. He spent the entire day just getting more and more frustrated, and by the end of it, he felt totally defeated. Just when he was about to give up completely, the son decides to try one last shop. He walks in and poses his strange question to this wise old man working there. And the man, he stops what he's doing, he looks at the boy really intently, and instead of laughing, you could see it on his face. He understood. And then the wise man looks at the son and says something that would absolutely change his perspective forever. He says, very gently, "Son, there's no price you can put on time. You could have millions, billions, all the money in the world, but you could not use it to buy back even a single second of your life once it's gone." And he didn't stop there. He continued, time has one really bad quality and one really good one. The bad news is it just flies by and it never ever stops. But the good news? The good news is that you are the pilot. You are the one who gets to decide exactly where it goes and how you're going to spend it. So, okay, that's a great story. But what does it mean for us? How do we take this lesson and actually apply it to our own lives, especially when we've got this beautiful blank slate of a new year right in front of us? Think about this number for a second, 24. This is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, super successful, or just struggling to get by, every single person on this planet gets the exact same 24 hours each and every day. The only thing that's different is what we do with those 24 hours. Some people, they invest their time wisely. They make it count. And then there are others who just constantly put things off, always waiting for that tomorrow that, let's be honest, never really shows up. Okay, let's break this down even further. A big number, right? 86,400. So what in the world does this have to do with the value of a single day? Well, it's actually the key to a really powerful way of thinking about this. I want you to imagine you have a special kind of bank account. Every single morning, without fail, it gets a deposit of 86,400 seconds. But, and this is a big but, there's a rule. There's no rollover. You can't save them for tomorrow. Anything you don't use, anything you don't invest by midnight is just gone forever. And a new year? Well, that's like a treasure chest with 365 of these non-refundable daily deposits. And let's talk about your habits for a minute. Think of a bad habit today like a tiny little weed in a garden. It's pretty easy to just reach down and pull it out, right? But if you leave it alone, if you let it grow, it develops these deep, strong roots. It becomes like a giant 20-foot tree that's just impossible to move. That's why the best time to make a change is always, always right now. Look, here's a tough but really necessary truth. If you want something different this year, if you want a different result, you just can't keep doing the exact same things you did last year. It just won't work. Real change requires real action. It's really as simple and, yeah, as difficult as that. And so, all of this brings us to the final and honestly the most important question of all. We've talked about a new perspective, but at the end of the day, the action, that's all on you. You have 365 days stretched out in front of you. So what are you going to do differently? How are you going to invest your 86,400 seconds starting today? Just remember this one thing. The past, it's gone. The future, it's not guaranteed to any of us. All we really have is right now, this very moment. So my best advice, be patient with yourself, be grateful for the time you have, and just keep moving forward.
This video uses AI-assisted tools for research and narration.